The Skaven are one of the most varied factions in the game, with mad scientists, both biological and mechanical, alongside scheming backstabbers aplenty. They're good, but they could be better, and the Skaven Clans mod is aiming to do just that. This mod adds 18 brand new Skaven factions to the game, complete with their own unique playstyles and even all new campaign mechanics. Let's take a look at all of them and if they're any good. Also, this video is sponsored by Instant Gaming, but more on that later. As I said, there are a bunch of new campaigns, so let's take a look at each one and any of their unique mechanics. First up, we have Clan Ferric, and they are led by Forge Master Ironskull. Their unique Slave Forge building line gives them access to a number of unique units alongside other powerful faction bonuses. Alongside their unique units, they'll also gain access to a whole new building chain at Zufbar that offers them powerful special units and more local and faction bonuses. Their plundering of the dwarves also allows them to make use of their own version of the forge to craft powerful items and increase their capacity for their unique units. He's also an infrastructure expert, allowing him increased income and reduced building costs. His faction can make use of the underways to a greater extent than others, and the more dwarves he's at war with, the more powerful his armies will become. His army specializes in taking on dwarves of all kinds, increasing their damage against them in combat and causing their enemies to become prone to rampages. Clan Fester are led by Scarrig Spinemangler. If you remember the Rotblood Tribes mod, this is the Skaven clan they worked so closely with. Their relationship allows them to purchase Rotblood armies, though I can't really find out how, with Warpstone, and give them cities for various rewards. They can also create and make use of the Skittergate to instantly teleport across the map. Beyond the Rotbloods, they're pretty hated by most other Skaven and all of the Empire. They have a strong focus on plagues, being able to craft them and receiving many bonuses when their armies and settlements are infected. Lastly, they bring huge buffs for most plague-based units in the roster. His own army can make use of the Vermintide units for far cheaper and gains fairly powerful bonuses in the turns following a war declaration. Clan Nor are led by Juneskulk Skreekblade. They're one of the most individual Skaven clans, preferring to stick to their own warriors as much as possible without relying on the other clans. Their one friend is Clan Mulder, though as with any Skaven, there's no guarantee it will last very long. They also have an extreme hatred for greenskins and will fight much harder when they're at war with anything green. They can even capture orc, goblins and beasts and make use of some of them in battle. Juneskulk's army has a mastery of the terrain and gives them a huge bonus when battling on their native land. Clan Vertkin is led by Trickstab Gribnode. They're pretty much the clan scry we have at home. They have no Forbidden Workshop, but they do get more ammo and research speed the more wars they're involved in. They can also build ranged unit buildings a lot cheaper to get hold of those units faster, and his army brings huge buffs for all globalist units. Next up we have Clan Creepus, but first a word from today's sponsor, Instant Gaming. Have you guys heard the rumor that GTA 6 could cost $100 for the basic edition? I know Rockstar have been cooking that one for years and it'll probably be a banger, but a video game that costs the same price as 20 Big Macs before you even think about the decade of online shark cards they'll sell almost 8 billion of guaranteed? Game prices are getting out of control, and that's why you should be using Instant Gaming. They sell keys for almost any game you could ask for, including the latest releases like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 for 28% off. Hell, even if you're not buying your games and use something like Game Pass, the prices are going up all the time, so you should still be using Instant Gaming to save on those membership costs. No matter how or where or what you're playing, you should be using Instant Gaming to save yourself some cash. So if you want to start saving money on games, then head on down to the link in the description and use my link to not only save on games and not only support the channel, but also to enter their monthly giveaways for anything you want store-wide. Thanks again to Instant Gaming for partnering with the channel, and now back to the video. Clan Creepus is led by Misericorde of Mordheim. It's another stealth-focused faction with non-Eshin units being a lot more costly to make use of. They can make use of the City of the Damned to hire other legendary lords, get in contact with the Council of 13, and craft various powerful items. They can also make use of unit upgrades for stats and various abilities. They're also quite diplomatic for a Skaven, with improved relations and increased trade income per alliance. They also grant poison or warpstone corruption to most of their earlier units to give them an edge. Misericorde's army is an ambush expert, not just gaining an increased ambush chance on the campaign map, but also vanguard and devastating flanker for various units in his army. Clan Grudge is led by Wraithen. They can temporarily hire Slaaneshi armies with food to aid them in battle. Whenever you choose the Create Undercity post-battle option, you can gift the parent city to Slaanesh for various rewards. The faction very much embraces chaos at the cost of being hated by other Skaven and being flooded with pink corruption. They also pay far more for non-Grudge units, so you're encouraged to make use of their own Slaaneshi-themed roster rather than those of the other clans. The Lord's army drops base weapon strength to gain more armor piercing, speed and replenishment, making a very fast moving and deadly army. Clan Hematoma is led by Clathak Goretail. This is a pretty similar clan to Grudge, but the Khorne version. They can gift settlements to Khorne, make use of bloodletting, can summon blood hosts after a settlement battle, but they're hated by Skaven and loved by Chaos. They spread Khorne corruption wherever they go, and pay much more for other clans' units. The Lord grants spell resistance to his army, just like Khorne intended. Clan Morbidius is led by Arch Pontifex Sitch. They have to keep both Clan Mulder and the Pestilent Brotherhood happy to avoid penalties and reap rewards. Again, there's no UI for this, so I'm not entirely sure what this means. They're another plague spreading clan that can make use of plague crafting, and they can make use of monster and plague units much cheaper, both via upkeep and building costs. Sitch is a hero specialist, bringing all kinds of bonuses and even periodically summoning them onto the campaign map. Clan Septic is led by Grizg Rotai. The faction has a mechanic similar to Bloodletting, empowering their armies the more battles they win. They can create plague nest undercities that spawn powerful armies of unique units when completed. They are another plague spreading clan with plague crafting, and they have a number of powerful bonuses for plague units. Rotai grants huge speed and leadership buffs for his entire army, alongside leadership draining for all plague-based heroes. Clan Scrat is led by Poxtooth, Befouler of Sotek. They gain huge bonuses every time they start a war against a Lizardmen faction, yet another plague-spreading clan with plague crafting, and they bring all kinds of bonuses for plague units and heroes. And his army gains yet more bonuses when battling against Lizardmen. The Bubonic Court is led by Nurglich. He can gift settlements to one of the 4 Skaven clans to gain their units in his recruitment pool for free, yet another plague spreading clan who can also get those plague buildings nice and fast and cheap. And all units in his army gain frenzy. Clan Verms is led by Blight 10 Scratch, another clan that faces steep costs for using units outside of their clan, but this can be removed by capturing those clans' capital settlements. Alongside regular recruitable units, they also make use of the breeding hives to recruit more monstrous units by performing all kinds of actions. Lastly, they're also a trade powerhouse, making much more resources and income from those resources, provided you can get some agreements. And the whole faction gains bonuses per war against other Skaven, alongside some unique to 10 Scratch's army. Clan Treacherik is led by Gristle Twitchslice. He has another bloodletting adjacent mechanic that provides buffs after victories in battle, and he's another faction that is limited to Eshin units by way of high cost of other clans' units, and he provides many sneaky abilities for units in the faction. His army is hard focused on ambushes, so it should go into most battles with a heavy advantage. Clan Feesick is led by Rickzik Seapage, yet another plague spreading faction, has very limited recruitment and can only acquire higher tier units via other pestilent clans, and the faction gains many bonuses whenever starting a new war. The Lord's army will almost always be the most powerful, stealing XP from other lords and earning much more income from battling and raiding. Clan Gangrus is led by Exalted Imperator Zik Vilepot. They work a little like the Changeling in the sense they can use undercities instead of occupying settlements normally. They have the usual buildings but gain access to more of their own units' recruitment. Whenever you beat a settlement and expand the Under Empire, you can gift the above settlement to one of 3 Skaven clans in return for improved relations. And yes, they are yet another plague faction. His own army gains movement speed after a battle victory, like Khorne or the Beastmen. Clan Scurvy is led by Sketch Half Dead. They cannot take settlements and instead work like a horde-based vampire coast, making them more authentic to the pirate lifestyle than the actual pirate faction. Any settlement they beat can be gifted to the Dreadfleet or Skaven clans for improved relations. They can also hunt down legendary ships for powerful bonuses. And lastly, other shipbuilding armies can be purchased with food, making them a lot more costly, but of course a lot more powerful. Sketch's army brings powerful bonuses for Skaven weapons team's units. And lastly, Clan Crooktail is led by Wastelord Viscis Bolkis. Their close proximity to the Chaos Wastes grants their heroes mutations upon unlocking certain skills. All their units also gain random mutations upon being recruited. They're also great friends with the Warriors of Chaos and just love to live up in them wastes. And of course, even the Lord isn't free from random mutation. And lastly, Clan Pestilence. Skrulk can now make use of plagues just like the rest of the plague clans. Now for some closing thoughts on this mod. It is obviously quite similar to the Legendary Characters mod we covered a while ago, at least in the sense that you're getting so many new campaigns. However, where that was, no offense, quite a lot of reskins without much in the way of new mechanics, this has quite a few new mechanics, at least new to the Skaven. The plague crafting is of course a no-brainer for plague clans, and I honestly assumed that Skrulk already had this, so I was pretty surprised to learn that he didn't, and this mod adds it. Beyond that, there's a number of mechanics unique to certain clans, like the various versions of the Forge giving you all kinds of bonuses, or a Skaven version of fightiness. It's nothing that's never been done before, but it's new to the Skaven, so it gives you something new to play around with if you've exhausted everything else they have going on. Clan Scurvy is probably my favourite because they're more of a pirate playstyle than the Vampire Coast, which is so hilarious it actually hurts. The Undercities are a fine mechanic baseline, but many factions in this mod make so much more use of them by simply changing around some of the buildings or how the parent settlement is affected, and it makes such a difference when you're playing. If you're a true Skaven enjoyer and have been waiting for something new to play, then this mod will provide that for you. Sure, not all of them are super unique, but at the very least you're getting a new starting location and some unique unit variants that we'll cover next time, and at most you're getting all new mechanics and a totally unique playstyle. But that's all I have for the campaign side of the Skaven Clans mod. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, subscribe, check out Instant Gaming at the link below, and if you want more Warhammer 3 mod videos, then check out this one that introduces Modern Warfare to the Empire.